not approved. Building, electrical, plumbing, fire protection, other HVAC violation, stop work. Permit none. Hey everyone, it's Travis Michael. So we're on a job site where we ran into some issues with the permits. As you can see here, this area was demoed out. This wasn't part of our work. But permits, demolition permits were pulled for this section of the work. We're doing some work in a warehouse, replacing some heating equipment and also just doing some service work, some repairs and maintenance. Yeah, I know, middle of July, and we're replacing heating units, but you know, our customer here has a new tenant coming in. They want to get everything up to speed for them for the warehouse. So this is kind of the nature of our work a lot of times. If the customer wants the units changed, whatever time of year it is, we just do it. You know, regardless how busy we are, we you know, make sure that we keep them happy. So yesterday, we were here on this job site, and inspectors showed up, or the building officials. He identified himself as a building inspector, but his business card he gave us was a senior zoning officer. He came in. We had this bay door back here open. He came in. You can see our old units are right on the ground behind us. Him and another guy, they walked in, started snooping around in that area, and then they made their way out to where we were working, out in the back of the warehouse back there. And you know, he approached us, you know, hey, you guys got permits? You know, he started giving us kind of a hard time, but you know, I understand they got a job to do, so whatever. But this area is very unique as part of New Jersey. There's actually two code enforcement agencies that we have to deal with here. Because it's in the Meadowlands region, we have the NJSEA, which is New Jersey Sports Exhibition Authority or something like that. And we also have to deal with the local town, the borough that we're working in. So anytime you pull permits, you have to actually have them both come out and do inspections, so the town and this other entity. So the first people showed up was from the state, and you know, they come in here, you know, tell us to shut down the work. We're not allowed to work here anymore. Now, as far as the permits go, I guess there was a confusion with, you know, that side, and you know that we were understanding that the permits were pulled, and you know, through this one project, it was encompassing the whole building as far as the permits were concerned. But I guess that's not exactly the case. We're still trying to figure it out, and you know, we'll get the permits pulled. It's not a big deal. We'll make sure that we do the right thing, and you know, generally that's how we always do our work. So he tells us, you know, stop working. But as I said earlier, we have a bunch of repair work to do also. So you don't need permits to just make simple repairs to, you know, warehouse unit heaters. So I asked him, I said, hey, we got work in the building other than installation work. Is that going to be an issue if we continue working? And he says, no, as long as it's not any new work, any replacement work, you guys can do the service work. So I said, all right, no problem. Today, the borough shows up and comes in and starts yelling, you're going to be, you know, we're charging you, we're going to be violations, you're going to be getting fines. And we, you know, talked to him and just explained to him that, listen, we're not doing any installation work. I know you see these units back here on the ground and you see some new units up in the air, but we're not working on that. We're working on a separate job that is repair only. We don't need permits for that. And you know, he wasn't like happy about that, but obviously he knew we were right. But like I said, we're getting this permit straight now. We're going to make sure that everything's right and everything's up to speed. So, but I just wanted to talk about, you know, how to handle these building inspectors and how to handle these officials when they show up. And like I said, it's a twofold problem here. We're dealing with the state and we're dealing with the local jurisdiction. But you know, my experience is, even if they're being rude, a lot of times they come in hot-headed. You know, they got something to prove. You know, I always just, hey, no problem. You know, it's well, we need permits. You know, we don't. There's no placard, whatever it is. You know, yeah, okay. And my recommendation would be, you know, just be respectful. Talk to them. You know, even if they're being unreasonable or you know very disgruntled. You know, just talk to them. Hey, okay, whatever. You know, what we said when they showed up is, and this is what I would recommend anybody do, throw it on your office. Even if you don't have an office, even if you're employed, you know, you're the only guy in the company, tell them, I got to talk to my office. These permits should be pulled. The paperwork should have been filed. I got to make some phone calls. I'll call the building owner. I will call the project manager. I will call the office, you know, and I'll get this straightened out. Because there's nothing they can say then. They go, okay, we'll just stop the work. So like I said, just be respectful, even if you don't want to be, even if you want to tell the guy to go shove it, but that's not going to help you. You ever hear the whole saying, you can't fight City Hall? Well, that's pretty much what we're dealing with here. So, it just let them come in, let them snoop around. Well, obviously there's nothing you really can do about it. In New Jersey, I guess they have the authority to just walk into the building on the job site and start, asking questions and start poking around. So we pretty much dealt with the local, the borough that showed up today, the same way we dealt with the other people yesterday. They came in, they were saying, hey, you guys, you have stop work order on the door, you can't be here, you got to stop, you got to leave, you can't be doing this. And we just said, hey, listen, we talked to the guy, we got his business card, you want us to call him, we'll call him right now. We talked to the guy yesterday, and he made it clear that if it's repair work and it's not placement work, it's no big deal, we can do the work, we don't need permits. So, he actually kind of like stormed right out of the building when we told him this. He didn't really even say anything to us, other than the fact saying that we're going to get fined or something. But, we do a lot of work in these areas, so it shouldn't be an issue. And they know we pull permits all the time. This must have just been some sort of oversight. So you're definitely not going to get anywhere trying to argue with these zoning officer, code officials, or whatever. So, as I said, just be respectful, even if they're not being respectful, and just tell them, hey, we'll get it taken care of. Whatever it is, we'll make sure it's straightened out. There was some misstep, there was miscalculation, whatever it was, we don't, So that's my recommendation when you guys are, dealing with the permits process, and, if people just show up on your job and start barking at you, just there's no sense getting into it with them, Luckily, I don't know how much they could have if they really could have told us we can't even do service work. I don't see how that would be possible. But, I half expected them to show up again a couple times today to make sure we weren't continuing with the other work. On the plus side, we actually have pretty much that work almost, I'd say 98% complete. So, we have a scissor lift back there behind me that we were working off of. So when we come back, it's like, all right, we don't need the scissor lift again. We can make do with maybe a ladder or a small single-person man lift. So, so I'm happy they didn't come back and give us a hard time again. Like I said, the town must have been driving around, saw the sticker on the door. And as they see our trucks out there, we got, our trucks are lettered. So it's kind of like we're sticking out like a sore thumb. They got permits pulled for this demolition project up there, and they see our trucks and they want to know what's going on. So I guess that's what their job is. They're snoop around and make sure people are doing what they're supposed to be doing. This way you don't end up having problems with the systems down the road, or bad installations causing other problems. But even with these unit heaters, there's not much to look at. You have electrical is 115 volts. The HVAC license covers us to disconnect the whip coming from the service switch going to the unit. So we just shut it off, disconnect it from the old one. We could connect it up right to the new one. That's not an issue at all. And the flue pipe, HVAC covers us for all that. The gas, the pipe, and the electric. So it's not an issue. We don't have to get any other trades involved, which is good. If you're not currently a subscriber, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. We got a lot more content coming. If you like the videos, give me a thumbs up and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a thing. I'll see you on the next one.